Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Let me ask you something that might sting for a second. Have you ever wondered why some older men step into a room and suddenly every younger woman notices them, while others fade into the background like shadows no one cares to see? It's not about money, it's not about looks, and it's not even about confidence in the way most people think. What makes certain older men unforgettable is something deeper, something hidden, something that most men will never be told because society doesn't want you to know how much power you truly hold once you understand female psychology. You see, when a younger woman looks at an older man, she's not just looking at the years on his face or the silver in his hair. She's subconsciously searching for signs of emotional stability, certainty, and wisdom. What shakes her to her core isn't how young you can act, but how unshakable you can remain in a world filled with fragile, distracted, and insecure men her age. Most younger men are like glass, shiny, polished, but easy to break. But an unforgettable older man, he's like stone, weathered, grounded, impossible to move. The first trick, and the one that secretly separates you from the rest, is silence. Not the awkward kind, not the insecure kind, but silence that carries weight. When you don't rush to fill every moment with words, when you let her lean into the stillness of your presence, she feels a tension that sparks curiosity. It's the kind of silence that makes her ask herself, what is he thinking? Why does he feel so calm? Why am I craving his attention without him even trying? Younger men often overshare, overcompensate, and try to prove themselves. Older men who know this trick, they don't. They let their energy speak louder than their words. And here's the secret most men miss. Women don't remember the details of what you say, but they will never forget how your presence made them feel. If you can create an emotional space that feels safe, mysterious, and strong all at once, you'll become unforgettable without even lifting a finger. Because younger women aren't truly searching for a man their age. They're searching for a man who makes them feel something rare, something stable, something eternal. And that's where your power begins. There's something you need to understand about desire. It's not logical, it's emotional. A younger woman doesn't sit down and write a checklist saying, he must be older. No, what happens is far more primal, far more hidden beneath the surface. She's drawn to the way an older man holds himself differently. It's not about chasing her, it's about making her feel like she's the one stepping into your world. And the second trick that makes older men unforgettable is this: controlled detachment. Now don't confuse this with coldness. It's not about ignoring her or playing games. It's about showing her that you already have a life that is full, meaningful, and solid, with or without her in it. See, younger men often make the mistake of giving away their power too fast. They get too eager, too available, too desperate for validation. But when a woman senses that you don't need her, that you're not begging for her approval, her attraction intensifies. Why? Because the strongest magnetic pull comes from scarcity. Think of it this way. If every man is fighting for her attention, but you're the one who doesn't rush, doesn't chase, doesn't bend, she starts to feel something unsettling. She wonders, why isn't he like the others? Why doesn't he crumble under my beauty? Why do I feel like I need to prove myself to him? That shift changes everything. Suddenly, you're not the one auditioning for her. She's auditioning for you. But here's where it gets even more powerful. Controlled detachment creates space for her imagination to run wild. When she doesn't know exactly where she stands with you, she begins to invest emotionally. She starts replaying your words in her mind, analyzing your tone, trying to decode your silence. And the more time she spends in her own head thinking about you, the deeper your hold becomes. It's not manipulation, it's a reflection of strength. Because the truth is, you're not playing a role, you're living authentically, and she feels it. What most men don't realize is that women aren't chasing men who make them comfortable. They're chasing men who make them curious. A younger woman remembers an older man, not because he gave her constant attention, but because he made her wonder what it would feel like to truly earn his. That's the essence of controlled detachment. It turns you from just another man into a mystery she can't put down. Here's something most men never hear, yet it explains why younger women gravitate toward older men. It's the calm authority you project without even realizing it. The third trick that makes an older man unforgettable is the ability to guide without controlling. See, younger women are surrounded by boys who bark orders or bend under pressure, but what they crave, deep down, is a man who knows where he's going and doesn't flinch when life gets messy. Think about it. In a world where people panic at the slightest challenge, the man who can calmly say, "Relax, I've got this," becomes unforgettable. It's not about dominance in a loud, aggressive way. It's about carrying yourself with such unshakable certainty that she feels safer just being in your orbit. That energy alone is rare, and when she senses it, she locks it into memory. But here's the hidden layer most men never uncover. Women don't just respond to words, they respond to direction. When you speak with clarity, when your decisions aren't wishy-washy, when you take responsibility instead of making excuses, you immediately stand apart. Younger men often collapse under indecision, constantly needing reassurance. But an older man who has lived, failed, learned, and risen again, he radiates a kind of authority that can't be faked. And this doesn't mean you have to know all the answers. In fact, the beauty lies in admitting what you don't know without losing composure. Picture this. She asks you something, and instead of scrambling, you calmly smile and say, "That's a good question. Let me think on it." That pause, that self-control, it's more attractive than pretending to know everything. Why? Because it shows her you're not desperate to impress. You're grounded enough to stand in truth. Authority, in its truest form, is not about control over her. It's about control over yourself. Your emotions, your impulses, your reactions. When she realizes she can't easily provoke you, when she sees that her beauty doesn't throw you off balance, she feels both admiration and curiosity. This makes her remember you long after you've walked away. And here's the secret. The authority of an unforgettable man doesn't cage a woman. It frees her. Because when she feels your steady energy, she knows she can let go of her own chaos for a moment. That release is addictive. And once she's felt it with you, every boy her age will feel like noise compared to the calm you gave her. Here's the truth most men never dare to accept. Younger women are not drawn to older men because of surface-level things. They're drawn because of the emotional depth you carry. The fourth trick that makes an older man unforgettable is emotional composure. See, women today are surrounded by chaos. Their phones are buzzing. Social media is pulling at them. Younger men are blowing up their messages with emojis and desperate attention. It's noise, constant noise. But when she meets a man who doesn't get rattled, who doesn't collapse when something doesn't go his way, he stands out like fire in the dark. Think of it like this. Most men her age explode at small problems, or they drown in silence when things don't go their way. But you've been through storms. You've lived through losses, betrayals, disappointments, and you're still standing. That weight of experience shows in the way you carry yourself, your patience, your ability to listen, your refusal to let emotions dictate every decision. That's what burns itself into her memory, because it feels rare. But here's what most men miss. Emotional composure doesn't mean you're empty or cold. It means your emotions are under your command, not the other way around. Imagine she tests you, throws a little jab to see if you'll crack. If you rise to it, if you snap, you become forgettable. But if you simply smile, let it slide, and redirect the energy, suddenly she sees you as someone she can't shake. That's unforgettable. This doesn't just apply in conflict. It applies in how you carry desire. Younger men often flood women with compliments, lust, and neediness. But when your emotions are disciplined, when you can hold back, when you can admire her beauty without falling to your knees over it. You create a tension that hooks her deeper than any compliment ever could. Because now she's wondering, why isn't he overwhelmed by me? What's different about him? Why can't I get him out of my head? Here's the truth. Emotional composure is a superpower. It makes you magnetic without trying. It makes her feel safe, but also challenged. It makes her realize you're not a boy playing games. You're a man who has learned to master himself. And once she feels that, it becomes impossible for her to forget you, no matter how many other men come and go. There's a detail most men overlook, yet it's the very reason some older men linger in a woman's memory long after he's gone. It's the presence he carries in the smallest moments. The fifth trick that makes an older man unforgettable is the art of slowing everything down. See, younger men rush. They rush their words, they rush their touches, they rush through life like they're sprinting against time. But you, if you know this secret, move differently. You move with intention. And it drives women insane in ways they don't even understand. When you slow things down, you force her to feel. The way you hold eye contact just a second longer than she expects. The pause before you answer, making her lean into your silence. The way you never seem in a hurry, as though time bends around you instead of you chasing it. That is the mark of a man who cannot be ignored. Because when you move slowly, deliberately, she feels the weight of your attention, and it makes her nervous in the best possible way. Here's what most men miss. Women don't remember a blur. They remember contrast. When her world is fast, distracted, chaotic, and you enter like a calm storm, unhurried, intentional, you become the contrast she can't forget. You give her an experience no boy her age has ever been able to create. The feeling of being truly seen, truly felt, truly in the moment. And slowing down isn't just about words or eye contact. It's in the way you sip your drink instead of gulping it. The way you listen instead of waiting for your turn to talk. The way you never make her feel like you're desperate to rush into her body, but instead you savor the energy between you. That patience, that deliberate pace, it tells her one thing. You're not a man who's starving for her. You're a man who already has control over himself. And that is intoxicating. Here's the beautiful twist. When you slow down, she speeds up. Her heart races, her thoughts spin, her breath shortens. She starts to anticipate your next move because she knows it won't come when she expects it. And that tension, that anticipation, it's unforgettable. Because long after you're gone, she won't remember every word you said. But she will remember how every second with you felt longer, deeper, and more alive than the rushed chaos of every boy before you. There's something almost dangerous about a man who understands this next truth, because once you embrace it, younger women can't stop replaying you in their minds. The sixth trick that makes an older man unforgettable is the ability to blend strength with vulnerability. Most men think they need to be one or the other, either hard and dominant or soft and emotional. But the unforgettable man knows how to live in both worlds at once. See, strength without vulnerability feels cold, and vulnerability without strength feels weak. But when you can show both, in the right balance, you become magnetic. Imagine this. You stand firm in who you are, you don't bend under pressure, you lead with confidence. Yet in a quiet moment, you reveal a small piece of truth about yourself. Not for pity, not for approval, but because you're secure enough to share it. That paradox of being unbreakable yet open is what shakes a woman to her core. Younger men often fake toughness, puffing up their chest, hiding their flaws behind bravado. Or they overshare, spilling their insecurities and hoping for comfort. Both extremes are forgettable. But when you look her in the eyes and say something raw without flinching, she feels it differently, because now she sees a man who is both warrior and poet, protector and human. That's rare. And rare is unforgettable. Here's the part most men don't understand. Vulnerability doesn't make you weaker. It makes you real. And when you're real, she can trust you. She feels safe, not because you're flawless, but because you've already faced your flaws and survived them. That makes her see you not as a fragile ego, but as a complete man. And once she's tasted that authenticity, she'll notice how hollow every other interaction feels with men who can't match it. Strength and vulnerability together create gravity. They pull her in, hold her attention, and make her think about you long after she's gone. She'll remember the way you could stand tall and unshaken, but also the way your words carried weight because they came from truth, not pretense. And it's that combination, the balance most men never master, that etches you permanently in her memory. Because at the end of the day, she doesn't want perfect. She wants real, and real, when wrapped in strength, is unforgettable. Now we arrive at the truth that ties everything together, the final piece that makes older men unforgettable in the eyes of younger women. It's not money, not looks, not charm. It's legacy. The seventh trick is living a life with purpose so powerful that she feels pulled into your story the moment she meets you. Because here's the secret. Women don't just want to be with a man. They want to feel like they're part of something bigger when they're with him. Younger men chase distractions. They drown in video games, meaningless parties, endless scrolling, and shallow goals. But an older man who has cultivated purpose, whether that's building his business, pursuing his passions, leaving an impact, carries a different energy. He's not just existing, he's building. And when a woman feels that, she doesn't just see a man, she sees a journey she wants to join. This is why men who live with purpose are unforgettable. Because when she walks away, she doesn't just think of you. She thinks of the world you created around yourself. She remembers how your eyes lit up when you spoke about what drives you. She remembers how she felt pulled into something that mattered. And she realizes that being with you isn't about filling her time, it's about elevating her life. That's a feeling she won't find in the arms of boys still figuring themselves out. And here's the truth. Legacy isn't about having millions of dollars or changing the entire world. It's about direction. It's about waking up with clarity, knowing who you are, what you stand for, and where you're going. That conviction, that fire, is what makes you unforgettable. Because when a woman sees it, she knows she's in the presence of a man who isn't just alive, he's truly living. So remember this, the unforgettable man isn't the loudest, the richest, or the flashiest. He's the man who is silent with weight, detached with control, authoritative with calm, composed under pressure, deliberate in action, balanced in strength and vulnerability, and burning with purpose. That is the man who lingers in her mind when the night is quiet. That is the man she can't forget, no matter how much time passes. Now let me ask you, honestly, which of these 7 traits do you already have, and which one do you need to work on starting today? Drop your answer in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more, and share it with a friend who needs to hear this right now. Because becoming unforgettable doesn't start tomorrow. It starts the moment you decide to live like a man she can never erase.